And now Storm Tracker weather with meteorologist Paul Bean.
Well, luckily enough, we're not tracking any clouds tonight because we wouldn't be able to see them on the radar anyway. Going to the storm tracker, take a look at this thick green band that's all the way across the Snake River Plain. That's not clouds, that's that smoke we mentioned earlier. We're continuing to see that through the night. And of course, it's not going to get better until some of those fires start to go out or the wind shifts away from us. So it could be quite a while before we start to see that clear out. As I zoom out, though, once we forget about that green band that's over Pocatello, it's pretty clear out there. For rain-wise, not seeing almost anything. A lot of moisture to the south, a lot of the moisture behind me up near the lakes. But here in the west, not anything for rain or clouds or really anything. We're seeing that sun continue. We've been seeing it for the last couple days now. It was a nice 3-day weekend, which is why those temperatures started to move up too. Right now, we're seeing it in those 70s, mainly because the sun has gone down. We're starting to see it cool down, see that drastic drop that we've been seeing for quite a few days now. So we're going to see closer to those 40s and 50s and even some of those 30s over by the Tetons. But right now, seeing those mid-70s, 65 in Pocatello, 76 in Blackfoot, and 70 in Idaho Falls. Now, I mentioned those lows, and of course, they are quite down there because of the clear skies. 54 in Idaho Falls, 52 in Pocatello, and Blackfoot at 52. But the real story, take a look at over in the mountains. Stanley all the way out there at 38, Mackay 52, some of those 40s up north, and behind me, Yellowstone 33, very close to freezing, and we're just in the first week of September, so you don't expect to see that. But weirdly enough, once again, it's the first week of September, so we expect those highs to start to drop. But we're still seeing those 90s. Going to tomorrow, it's a little cooler than what we saw today. Instead of that 96, we see a 93 in Pocatello. If you're at the fair, instead of that 95, you'll see a 93 as well. And then Idaho Falls a little bit cooler at 90. But for the most part, seeing those temperatures stick to where they are. And we'll expect to see those low 90s well through this week until the rain starts to move through on Friday. So there you go. Friday is when we'll start to see those temperatures drop because rain's on its way in. However, that future tracker for the next 24 hours staying clear. It's going, but we're not seeing anything pop up at all. Now the radars might be a little bit more activity because of that smoke, but cloud-wise, staying clear, rain-wise, nothing in the area. Now let's take a quick look at those 7-day forecasts. Hot until Friday. Seeing that chance of rain move in on Friday. Start to drop temperatures, but not by much, only sticking to those mid-80s, and then that sun comes back on Monday. So just expect a kind of a dreary weekend, unfortunately, as we move into this upcoming weekend. Very similar in Idaho Falls, low 90s until that Friday. Chance of rain moving through Friday, Saturday, Sunday. Then it clears out on Monday. Temperatures start to recover a bit. But once again, it's a lot lower than what we're starting with. We're starting with those low 90s. Rexburg, very similar, but starting with those upper 80s. We'll end the week in those lower 80s. Tetons starting in the mid 80s, ending the week in the upper 70s with a little bit more of that rain on Friday. A pretty strong band moving through the mountains. And speaking of strong bands moving through the mountains, the Central Mountains, very similar pattern. Seeing strongest on Friday, scattering out Saturday, Sunday, but enough to drive those temperatures down into those mid 80s. And of course, like I said, even though we're not seeing any clouds, that radar is going to be very active over the next few days because of all that smoke.
You got my hopes up there for a second. I thought you were going to say Aerosmith. Strong bands moving through the mountains.
Oh, nice.
Nice. Okay, thank you very much, Paul. Well,